This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Precisely 6:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News edited by Danushka Madhavala and read by Sharifa Tahir. Headlines. Short-term programs of the Mimure village will be finalized by next month. Minister Bandulu Gunawardena says that some financial practices of the good governance government has led the country to a financial crisis. The Consumer Affairs Authority said that stern action will be taken against the persons who sell substandard consumable goods. The Colombo floating market will be vested with the public today. News overseas, Iran says initial nuclear talks with world powers constructive. Local news in detail. Kandy District Secretary Chandana Tennakon says that development activities of Mimure area should be undertaken without harming the beauty, culture and the values of the village. He was speaking at the progress review meeting of the Mimure Development Program. The president, after participating the Gama Samaga Pilisandara program in the village, has clearly instructed to protect these values of this village while carrying out development activities. The district secretary added that short-term programs can be finalized by next month. Minister Bandulu Gunawardena says that some financial practices of the good governance government has led the country to a financial crisis. Due to those bad financial practices, the country has to limit many imports at present. Due to the pandemic situation, almost all the countries in the world are facing severe difficulties at present. Sri Lanka is also facing the same issue. The export sector is also facing many difficulties at present. The Consumer Affairs Authority said that stern action will be taken against the persons who sell substandard consumable goods. Legal action will be taken against such individuals and companies. Raids will be carried out covering the entire island to nab errant traders. The wholesale stores and warehouses will also be raided. Consumers are requested to call 1977 hotline number if there is any issue related to the consumer goods. The Colombo floating market will be vested with the public today. During the previous government, the area was unattended and left abandoned. The government spent 35 million rupees for the renovation activities. 80 out of 103 shops were closed down during the past regime. The development activities will be carried out further. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation giving you the news.
The Speed Investment Plan from Sri Lanka Insurance. Give a high five to life.
Continuing with more stories here at home. State Minister Lasantha Alagiavanam says that any variety of contaminated or substandard cooking oil will not be permitted to be sold in the local market hereafter. The government is to regulate 5,800 imported consumer items. Public should inform the relevant authorities regarding low-quality food items if available in the market. The State Minister made these comments in the Parliament yesterday. Parliamentarian Gayantha Karunathilaka said that the government has failed to provide quality food items to the people in the country. State Minister Shehan Semasingh has said that the opposition should not discourage local industrialists by condemning local products manufactured by them. Minister of Health Pavitra Vanyarachi says that private tuition classes in the Western Province will be allowed to recommence academic activities from the 12th of this month. On the 21st of January, the Director General of Health Services had issued the relevant health guidelines for the commencement of tuition classes. Accordingly, tuition classes can be reopened 2 weeks after the schools are open, the minister said. That's on local news.
Introducing Speed Investment with Sri Lanka Insurance, the only insurance policy that increases your sum assured by 5% every year for the same premium amount. You also get a bonus payment at maturity. What better plan to have when you can invest now and relax later? The Speed Investment Plan from Sri Lanka Insurance. Give a high five to life. Sri Lanka Insurance. Like a father, like a mother.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The Transport Ministry is ready to provide transport facilities for the people who travel from their homes for the festival season without any hassle. 1,992 buses, 21 trains and 58 additional train trips have been added for the convenience of the people. In addition, 1,800 private buses have also been added to the service. These services will be in operation from the 9th to the 16th of this month, and this is for the convenience of the people who travel to their homes for the festive season.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
And on What's Light, maize farmers in the country who face immense difficulties by the Sena caterpillar problem last harvesting season are now battling to sell their harvest for a reasonable price this season. Reason behind the problem is the reduction of purchasing prices who buy the products. Earlier, the price of a kilogram of maize was brought at 85 rupees, but now it has been reduced up to 60 rupees.
World News, brought to you by courtesy of
the best discount in this Urdu season, People's Leasing Polybasi. Enjoy an interest rebate of 25% from People's Leasing for all the leasing facilities during this Urdu season. Call 011-206-300 for more details. Conditions apply.
People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
World News headlines. Iran says initial nuclear talks with world powers constructive. In new grim record, Brazil surpasses 4,000 daily COVID deaths. Kim Kardashian West joins billionaire club. World news in detail. Iran and the major world powers still party to a 2015 nuclear deal have met for talks in Vienna, Austria, as attempts to return the United States to the landmark accord intensify. Talks were held in the city's imperial and grand hotels between representatives of Iran, China, Russia, Germany, France and the United Kingdom. Iran's Deputy Foreign Minister, following the meeting yesterday, said the countries will continue to discuss ways to revive the joint comprehensive plan of action that former U.S. President Donald Trump unilaterally abandoned in May 2018. A U.S. delegation was also in the same city trying to save the accord, but the team led by Special Envoy to Iran Robert Malley did not take part in the talks with other world powers, as Iran has said it will not directly negotiate with the U.S. until all harsh actions imposed by Trump and still enforced by President Joe Biden are lifted. For the first time since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, Brazil has recorded over 4,000 coronavirus deaths in a single day, a new grim milestone for the country as President Bolsonaro continues to reject public health restrictions. The Brazilian Health Ministry said on Tuesday that 4,195 people had died due to the virus. The country has now recorded over 366,000 fatalities, according to a Johns Hopkins University tally, second only to the United States. Brazilian hospitals across the country are being stretched to their limits as the rate of infections continues to climb. Younger people are falling ill and needing medical care as this wave of the pandemic has been marked by more easily transmissible strains of the virus. Finally, on world news, U.S. reality TV star Kim Kardashian West has joined the elite club of the super rich by achieving billionaire status. Her net worth reached $1 billion thanks to her cosmetics and clothing interests, as well as income from TV endorsement deals and investments. Forbes Business magazine says she is now one of the 2,755 figures on Forbes World's Billionaires list. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos leads the pack with a net worth of $177 billion. And that's on World News.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of
The best discount in this Urdu season, People's Leasing Polywasi. Enjoy an interest rebate of 25% from People's Leasing for all the leasing facilities during this Urdu season. Call 011 206 300 for more details. Conditions apply.
People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
And on development news, 1 billion rupees has been set aside to produce quality and high-standard organic fertilizer. The government expects to provide the fertilizer to the farmers free of charge. Commercial Fertilizer Company of the government has been given the responsibility in this regard.
Development News was brought to you by CIB. Nivea offer valuable gift vouchers for every bill payment during 1st to 10th April. 20% discount for bank card holders. Our place, our product. CIB.
And on sports news, North Korea has announced it will not take part in the Tokyo Olympics this year, saying the decision is to protect its athletes from COVID-19. The decision puts an end to South Korea's hopes of using the Games to engage with the North amid stalled cross-border talks. In 2018, both sides entered a joint team at the Winter Olympics, which led to a series of historic summits. Pyongyang says it has no cases of the virus, but experts say this is unlikely.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Minister Ramesh Patirana says a huge demand for the Sri Lankan Palmyra-based products can be seen from European countries. The minister added that many new products can be made using Palmyra. The export income from plantation sector has increased when compared to 2019. It is commendable that the income has increased when the entire world is facing the pandemic situation.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic News. Courtesy of
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
And on economic news, the time period given to open special savings accounts under the Foreign Revenue Act has further increased. The time period was scheduled to end today. The main aim behind the increase of time is to motivate more parties to open these savings accounts. More than $360 million have been deposited in these accounts.
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasir, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
And on the weather update, showers or thunder showers will occur at several places in western, Sabaragamu and central provinces and in Galle and Mathura districts in the evening or night. Fairly heavy falls, about 50 millimeters, can be expected at some places in those areas. Mainly fair weather will prevail elsewhere over the island. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in the central, Sabaragamu and western provinces during the morning. On the upper and northward relative motion of the sun, it is going to be directly over the latitudes of Sri Lanka during the 5th to the 14th of April this year. The nearest areas of Sri Lanka over which the sun is overhead today are Colombo, Malvana, Kosgama, Sitavaka, Maldenia, Rosalla, Talavakale, Sitailiya, Ethampitiya, Passara, Paralanda and Paladi Kalapur at about 12:13 noon.
Weather Report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
Before we wind up, a look at the headlines again. Short-term programs of the Mimure village will be finalized by next month. Minister Bandula Gunawardena says that some financial practices of the good governance government has led the country to a financial crisis. The Consumer Affairs Authority said that stern action will be taken against the persons who sell substandard consumable goods. The Colombo floating market will be vested with the public today. News overseas, Iran says initial nuclear talks with world powers constructive. With that, we conclude the morning bulletin of news, and it's back to Vienna this morning.